How do you get the best out of a probationary period? In this video, I'm going to give you 3 steps that you need to take to make sure that you're managing probationary periods effectively. Quick introduction to me, my name is Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we help small businesses with all things HR, people management and leadership. So let's dive straight in, and very quickly, what is a probationary period? Well, a probationary period actually has no legal definition. In the UK, it's not something that we have to do, it's something that's chosen by employers. If you have one, you do have to put it in the contract of employment, but aside from that, it's for the business to choose what they want to do. And for that very reason, I actually recommend that most businesses don't even do one. Take a look at my video on why probationary periods are a waste of time for more about that. But in this video, for those of you who want to do a probationary period or it's right for your business, I'm going to tell you exactly how you make sure that you manage that effectively. So step 1 is understanding why you are using one. Now this might sound really simple, but it's so many conversations I have with business owners. I ask them why they're using a probationary period, and the answer is, well, just because we always have. It's what we do, it's a trial period, it's a two-way thing. And actually, none of these are really good, solid answers, and none of them really explain what you're trying to get out of a probationary period. The reason that some sectors still use them, despite, as say, my recommendation to most that they're not worth it, is because there's a specific thing that happens in the first few months or needs to happen in order for somebody to be able to do the job effectively. The care sector, for example, there's mandatory training that must take place within the first few months of employment, and therefore it makes sense to have a probationary period that looks at exactly what that mandatory training is, make sure it happens. You may also have a requirement for people to be supervised for a certain number of hours, or training that you want to do within your business, things like that. But make sure you're really clear on why you need a probationary period and what it's trying to achieve for your business. Step 2 then, and if you've got step 1 right, this one will be really easy. Step 2 is to communicate that to your new employee. They need to understand why this probationary period is there, what is expected of them to achieve by the end of it, what it will look like when they're achieving it, how they'll know they've achieved it, and what training, supports, resources they're being given to help them to achieve it. As I say, if you've got the first one right, if you really know what you're doing, then of course the second one is so much easier because you're just communicating it to them, and you'll be able to see clearly what you need to provide for new starters for them to be able to achieve this. And step 3, again, this step is really easy if you've got the first 2 right, and that's giving effective feedback. There's no point having a goal if people aren't given feedback as they go along, and in those early stages, people are learning, they are interpreting, they're applying their own experience, their own context, which may well be different to yours in your business. They need feedback. They need to be told what they're doing well. They need to be told what they're missing, what they should be doing. All of that needs to happen on a regular basis. Don't leave it to the probationary review meeting in 6 months' time. By then it's too late. You want to nip issues in the bud really quickly, because most of them at this stage are as a result of people just not understanding, not being familiar with the business, and it all being very new and a lot to take in. So make sure that you're giving regular feedback and that feedback is really clear. Just one other thing about feedback, make sure that feedback's given in private, and that includes completion of the probationary period. I have heard of companies who have got kind of team rituals to celebrate the end of a probationary period. The problem is this is a performance issue, and it's great if someone passes and it's all celebratory, but if we know that somebody's due to pass at 6 months and then they don't for whatever reason, and we don't have that celebration, we're giving that away to the rest of the team, and that's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for people to know when there's concerns about performance. It's not appropriate for people to be a part of that. So I would say just keep those celebrations out of it. Have them when the person joins. They should be feeling welcomed and part of the team right from day one, not waiting 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, your probationary period. They should be waiting that long to be welcomed and celebrated as part of the team. Welcome them from day one, and keep feedback and the probationary period part private. So if you've done all that and it doesn't work out and this person isn't looking like they're going to pass their probationary period, then we need to look at what we can do about this. As I said at the beginning of the video, a probationary period isn't a legal term in UK law. It doesn't give us an automatic right to dismiss somebody because they've failed your probation. That's why getting those 3 steps is really important, because that shows that if they have got to this point and they're not performing, that any dismissal is for a performance reason, and that's really clear. And that's going to make it really much easier to be able to do an end of probation dismissal. Or even before that, if you get to a point where you're saying this isn't going to work out, do the dismissal as quickly as possible. Don't drag it out, don't string it along, resolve it and move on. I think that's better for everybody. But when we've got those really clear expectations at the beginning, we've communicated them, we've given the support, we've given the feedback, we can see quickly and clearly when somebody isn't achieving what they should be. And at that point, we may well be looking to dismiss. Now, under 2 years of service, somebody can't bring an ordinary unfair dismissal claim, but they can bring an automatic unfair dismissal claim. So we do need to make sure that any dismissal is purely linked to that performance and not to any automatic unfair reason. And bear in mind that could include a disability. So if you needed to make reasonable adjustments for somebody to be able to achieve what was needed in the probationary period, then you need to make sure that you've done that and make sure you look at what adjustments they need and are they reasonable. Only at that point could you consider a dismissal, and as with any dismissal, I strongly recommend taking full advice on your specific case to make sure that there's nothing in there that could create a risk for your business. If you're perhaps not sure, they've got towards the end of the probation, they're almost at the expectations but not quite there, or let's say they had a large period of absence and a broken leg during the probationary period that's going to really impact the way they settle into the business, you may well want to extend the probationary period. If you're going to extend the probationary period, make sure you do it before the end of the probation. Make sure that you sit down and explain to the individual why, explain to them where they're at now, where they need to be, explain how long you're going to extend the probationary period for, and any further support that you're going to give them to help them get to where they need to be. And put that in writing, confirm it to them, and then continue the steps, making sure you're really clear your expectations and giving feedback up until that extended period. And at that point, you should really be able to know whether or not this person's right for the business, or whether actually this needs to be a dismissal and it's just not working out. If you are a business and you're looking for advice on a specific situation you're facing, I have put contact details in the description below so you can get in touch. In the meantime, if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single one.